now listening to the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, the Going North podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer and author of the best-selling book, Stay the Course, Dom Brightman. And you're going to be getting some goodies today from the guest that's up next. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, it's the Going North podcast. We're back at you with another superstar author in the building, baby, best-selling author. What makes it even better about this author I have today, my man's rocking the JMT DNA, baby, the JMT DNA, a fellow certified John Maxwell speaker, coach, and trainer. And on top of that, he's a doctor, y'all. My man's a doctor because he's been an educator for over 2 decades and has a heart and passion for educating children and empowering teachers. And he speaks, consults, and coaches educators, parents, and teachers, as well as being a recognized thought leader in the education space. So let's give it up for the one, the only, MH himself, the good doctor, Miguel Hernandez. How you doing, my man, Miguel?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Dom. Thanks for having me here this morning.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations, man. Business of Immortality, my man. How's it feel?
Oh, it feels great to finally get a book out. You know, I've been saying it for years, and with this pandemic, that gave me some time, you know, to really sit down and put the pen on the paper and write away. And that's, you know, this is what came out of it. A book from with letters from students that students wrote to their teachers and what teachers wrote back to their students. So this is a book of nice, good feeling stories about the impact that teachers provided for students along the way.
Oh, yeah, man. Yes, indeed. It's definitely one of those feel-good, inspiring books, especially with all the stories, especially how some of the acts that some of the teachers did. Heck, even remember one story in particular, one of the teachers that actually draw almost comic book figures on the whiteboard while teaching history to try to engage the students better.
Right. You know, these are teachers that really made a difference in the lives of children, just not by teaching the content, but adding their own little flavor to their teaching and making those connections with students and building relationships that keeps the students happy and keeps them coming to school every day, ready to be engaged.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Keeping them engaged like engagement rings indeed. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man. Well, speaking of keeping folks engaged, I'm pretty sure there's a ton of stuff I forgot about the good doctor himself. So, am I filling in any cavities I missed about you?
Yes, I actually been in education for 30 years, 3 decades. And I started out teaching in 1990 as a special education teacher. I taught that for 3 years, and then I switched over to health and physical education, and I taught that for 7 years. So I was actually in the classroom for 10 years. After that, I shortly became an administrator, where I started as an athletic director and worked myself up all the way up to superintendent, where I recently retired on September 1st after 30 years in education. And it's been a great run. It's been a positive run, and it's been great memories and great moments that I've lived through during my time as an educator.
Yeah, there you go, my man. So, what inspired you to get into the field of education?
Just like what I'm trying to show in this book about the moments and the memories that teachers make for students. When I was a student, I had a teacher who created those memories and special times. And I said to myself, I want to be a teacher just like my high school phys ed teacher was. And also he was also my football coach. That led me to want to be an educator as well. And, you know, oddly enough, I was very fortunate enough in my career as an administrator to go back to my old high school where my coach and teacher was still there teaching. So I came back to the building as his principal and as his boss. He was very proud of me, you know, so it was And I always thanked him a lot about all the things that he's done for me and the impact that he's had in my life as a teacher.
Well, I guess the saying goes, it's true. Be careful how you treat people.
Yes, yes. You got to treat people the right way, man, because you never know. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Because if he was a jerk of a PE teacher, it would have been like,
right, right.
how's it going, buddy?
No, I was there as a principal, and like I said before, it's about building relationships and great relationships with him as well as the rest of the teachers on staff when I was principal. And I think that it kept morale high, kept us all working to make a difference in the lives of children.
That's right. Making a positive difference indeed, because that's really what it's all about, is making a
Yeah,
positive difference in people.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, my man. So with that positive role model and that positive influence that really inspired you to, again, basically take that torch and run with it, was probably been to the major leadership lesson you learned from your time being a school principal.
The biggest thing that I got out of my experience as a principal is to build relationships and build positive relationships with people, because that makes it easier to collaborate and to work together during those moments of need and those moments of difficulties. And we're able to lean on each other to make sure we make right decisions that impact students on a positive side.
Ah, there you go. Building relationships is definitely important. Is there any other leadership lessons that stick out to you, my man?
Yes, hire people that are smarter than you, because you want people around you that are smart and that can help you out along the way. And don't let your ego get in the way when you hire people that are smarter than you, because at the end of the day, we got to do what's right for kids. And if you have the right people on the bus, you'll get the job done.
Amen to that, dude. You're so right about that. Yeah, because there's still a lot of people out there who may be small minded and be like, man, I need to be the smartest person in this room right here. I
No,
can't
no, no.
hire no people.
My last hire as a superintendent, I hired a principal who was very smart, smarter than me, but he was always the smartest guy in the room. We were always saying that this guy was the smartest guy in the room and always had right ideas, and he was a good person to have on that team.
Oh, yeah, definitely can see that again. And that's good too, that you actually were able to have the humility enough to realize, like, hey, I do really need to do this, because a lot of folks may be small minded out there and may go the opposite way and try to keep everybody basically under the mushroom.
Right. Right. No, no, no. Because I realize some of my weaknesses, so I have to bring in people that can make up for my weaknesses, and together, we put things in place that work, as a team. That I thought that was very important to do.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about indeed. Yeah, so since my man's now retired and from the school system, and you probably got a lot of stress off of you from all of that.
Yeah, yeah, I would say that, it's since September 1st, it's been less stressful. I have a lot more time to myself, which gives me a lot of comfort, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm looking forward to a long and happy retirement. And saying all that, I'm also one of the reasons I wrote this book, because I wanted to be an author, which I did, right? And I also want to transition into speaking, going into schools, going into organizations, and speaking on matters that matter to the organization or schools. So I'm looking forward to those opportunities in the future, possibly doing some keynote speaking at events, at conferences, and also through virtual meetings and conferences as well.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So it's basically going into these wonderful schools and sharing the good word, that motivation, inspiration, helping folks develop their leadership ability. What do you think may be the major thing that'll help schools go to the next level nowadays across the nation? Because it's this whole pandemic kind of forced everybody to learn a whole different new skill set.
Right, right. It is different now, and who knows where it's going. Are we ever going to get back to the way it was in education, where it was inside the building, everything was inside the building, or are we going to have more of this virtual hybrid type of learning? I'm not sure. That's yet to be seen, and we'll wait to see how this all plays out. But I think there's going to be a lot of combination of both in the future. That's my guess. Some hybrid and some in-person teaching. I believe that one thing that we learned from this pandemic is that we could teach virtually during those snow days. I don't think the kids are gonna have any more snow days, and I can see that happening, right? Because the kids can stay home on those snow days and still pop onto the computer and do some work and do their assignments and also meet with their teachers virtually. And they save a snow day, and it makes it a lot easier on the administrators try to have than having to juggle days at the end of the school year or taken away from a spring break to try to make up days that are mandated by the State Department of Education.
Well, good thing we're no longer kids, huh? Be like, man,
Yeah,
give me that
yeah,
snow day back.
yeah, right, right. But then again, some schools may think that the kids need that time to play in the snow, which I could understand that. To have that day off and go outside and throw snowballs and make snowmans and go sleigh riding, because that those things are fun.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Fun in a bun, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes,
Mhm.
indeed. Well, hopefully the schools will keep that mindset and keep that in place so that way they have a heart be like, yep, y'all can stay home. We won't do
Yeah.
virtual. we ain't gonna do. Oh man. But yes, indeed. So, says there a question that you wish you'd be asked more often now that you're on this interview train of spreading the good word of the letters from your students?
Question that I would like to be asked: how will you continue to make a difference as a retired administrator? That would be my question. How will you continue to make a difference? And my answer to that would be, I believe that I can. I believe I want to, and with this book, it's the start of that. I believe that if I'm invited into schools to talk to kids or talk to teachers, that I can send a message out there that's positive, that's motivating, and that will make a difference, and that will leave a lasting impact on students, teachers, and administrators.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's good. My man's focusing on the future right there. And that's definitely good. That shows that you're proactive because you don't want to just be retired and be like, yep, I'm just going to chill and be a couch potato for the rest of my days. It's like, no, I'm going to continue to
No,
make a
that's right.
difference.
That's not the plan. I want to stay sharp. I want to stay sharp and keep my mind strong. And I think this is a great way to go about it. And also going into schools and speaking and staying sharp that way and keeping my foot in the education world.
There you go. That's right. It's like folks trying to make jam in a big old jar back in the day. They put their foot in it. That's right.
Uh,
That's right.
huh?
Oh man. Well, the beautiful thing about this book is that this could possibly be a series. So, is there going to be a part two? It's a part one for those who may have already finished the first book.
I started contemplating about a second book. There's some thoughts going on. I'm not sure what direction I will go with it, but there may be a second book in the future. This one was a lot of work. It took some time, right now I want to, sort of pump the brakes on it and enjoy this one. And then maybe down the road, I'll think about a second one.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. I got you. So
Mhm.
the only thing is they'd be like, Miguel, where book two at, man? I heard you retired, man. We weren't faithful, man.
Right. You have the time now. You have the time now to write it. I said, you're right, but maybe I will. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, with all of your magical experience, what would your advice be to someone who's looking to get into the career of being a teacher?
One is that you must love kids. If you don't love kids, and then it's not your career. If you love kids, it's a good job. It's a great job, excellent job. Second is that you got to build relationships, build those strong relationships with the students and also with the families of those students, because you're making an impact, a positive impact on the students and the parents along the way. And my third thing is, which it's something I wish I took a handle of earlier in my career, is to stay up with the technology, because technology is fast moving, it's always changing, and you have to keep up with it to stay ahead of it and to be able to have impact with it on your education, on your teaching in the classroom.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Definitely right about that. Because that technology always advances so darn fast.
Yes, yes, you can't keep up with it. I mean, even with my iPhone, I'm like ready to get a new one, but I think they play games with us, the phone people, because they say it's outdated so that we keep making purchasing, to stay updated with the newer version.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, like humans hate change. Like, I want to upgrade, forget you.
Yeah.
And then they make the phone slower on purpose.
I'd be better off with just a landline.
Exactly. Especially if it's one of those old school phones that don't need electricity, you definitely straight if there's a power outage.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. Definitely solid advice for those new and aspiring educators, indeed, especially about loving kids, because it's so true. Because teachers, they don't get paid the salaries they deserve, and you really have to love what you do to really deliver.
Right. Right. A great teacher can change the life of a child. It only takes one caring adult to have that impact on a child. And if every child can have that one adult in the building, in the school building, that has that impact on them, that can change their whole life, And that's what happened with me. I had one teacher in my career that had that impact on me, that made a difference and put me on the right path to a career of education, then as a teacher and then as an administrator, because of one teacher, right? And that can make a difference between, having a great life, living a good life, or living a life of struggling, from paycheck to paycheck. And I'm very grateful for the teachers that I had, particularly that one phys ed teacher and also my football coach in my career.
There you go. There you go. There you go. That's right. Making all them tackles, baby. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Power of a good old role model right there. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Not them egg role models either. That's what I'm talking about right there.
What's an egg role model?
It's basically an egg roll that wears high
Okay.
heels.
Okay.
That's right. It's always a great visual. Just imagine an egg roll with
Right,
high
right,
heels, some
right.
stilettos.
Uh-huh. Funny.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive, and that is if you're to wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but this time in the current year of 2021 with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
What advice will I give to myself? Miguel, care about everyone. Care about everyone. Build relationships with everyone that you come across, because you never know when you're going to need them again or when you come across them again. And you build those positive relationships and you make a difference in everybody's life and bring that influence that's positive.
Boom. There you go. There you go.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Got to care more than the Care Bears, y'all. That's right.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, indeed. That's right. Because that well, like, hey, if you dig it now and you're thirsty later, you already have that well. You don't have to worry about digging for one while you're thirsty, because you'll probably be dehydrated by the time you get to the water.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Indeed. Yes, sir. Indeed. Solid advice right there. So, for those who want to keep in contact with the mighty Miguel, buy 5,000 copies of his book and keep up with when book number 2 is coming out, what's the best way for folks to reach out to you?
Miguel Hernandez, author, speaker, and coach. My email is mhernandezspeaks@gmail.com. My phone number is 848-469-0995. If you call that number, I will be the one to answer that number. So you'll get me directly. And just a reminder, my book is on Amazon, Letters from My Students. That's my contact information and the information about the book.
Well, there you have it, folks. Reach out to a man, the mighty Miguel Hernandez, the doctor, folks, the good doctor.
Yes.
That's right. The doctor who don't need no scalpel, baby, because that ain't the type of doctor, man. He's the education doctor, baby. Man, gonna educate you, your students, your teachers, your facilities, baby. That's right. Invite that mighty Miguel to speak to your organization, help them change lives, remind them of their greatness, because the kids need it. Heck, the adults always need it too. That's right, indeed. So, any parting words before we close up shop, Miguel?
Yeah, everyone out there, just continue making a difference, because students need you, teachers need you, and we all need each other. Make a difference and have some influence.
This is your host, Don Brightman. Hope you enjoyed what you just heard. And if you really did, do me a solid and leave a review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, wherever you're listening to. And subscribe to hear more, because more is coming your way to advance you further than before.